Hello and welcome to the Legend of Podcast Trails Through Trails, the podcast where we play through the long-running Trails series, chapter by chapter, game by game, or half chapter by half chapter, as it were. I'm one of your hosts, Lex, and I use she, her pronouns.
And I'm your other half of the hosts, Matt, and I use he, him pronouns.
And today we're going to be covering the second half of Chapter 2 up until the end of Chapter 2. So we have a nice easy checkpoint this time. And what a chapter it was.
Oh boy, yeah. I didn't think there was going to be that much going on in this second half, but it's action-packed for a little sequence here.
Before we dive into it, Matt, what have you been up to this week?
What have I been up to this week? A lot of very similar things. At this point in time, I'm still midway through reviewing Claire Obscure Expedition 33. It continues to be very French and quite good.
And is it an accurate replica or simulation of being 33?
That was 4 years ago, so I have no memory of what that was like whatsoever. I have a cache of about 6 months, I think. It's good. It's very beautiful. Like, every environment is unique and trippy. At the moment, I have to fight a bunch of theater masks of different emotions, which is odd. Some of the monster designs are really creepy. They're all very French. Lots of frills and, what do you call it? The pants that have all the ruffles on them. That sort of era of clothing.
Okay, yeah. Like Renaissance.
Yeah, like Regency, aristocratic French stuff. Yeah. It's great. A lot of twists and turns that I wasn't expecting. At the time of recording, they've just released the final character trailer for Minoko, who's one of those paintbrush-headed people that I mentioned last episode.
Right.
Very deep voice, where all of them normally have sort of a kind of voice. He speaks full English, and I don't think it's the same voice actor, but he sounds a lot like someone from Game of Thrones that I cannot place. It's very funny, though, because they're all about fighting.
Ooh, I'll have to see when I get there if I can place that voice.
Yeah, I think he's just a character actor type. But when I was playing through a sequence recently, we had to get through a big barricade, and Minoko, being the fight gestural, wants to just punch his way through it. He goes to punch through this barricade, and we cut to black, and then when you come back, the party's been separated because he punched bad, and stuff went wrong. And so when you come to, one of the characters walks up and just says, "Minoko, are you okay?" And where he's been very braggadocious and bravado all the time, he just goes, "Shit, I fucked up, I'm sorry, I fucked up."
That's excellent.
One of the best parts of this game is just how conversational a lot of the conversations are, because this has Persona-esque conversation social links that just kind of appear halfway through the game. I didn't know about it. It's to unlock a special move for each of them. You do 4 little conversations. It doesn't really seem like it's a pass-fail the way that there are with Persona ones, where you get more points for the one option versus the other. It's just flavor. But it's a lot of fun. You get to know everyone a bit better. The conversations are very sort of grounded and down to earth. One of my favorites is the main character, Gustav. Really likes skipping rocks across water. He has a whole thing where him and Maëlle, his adoptive younger sister, throw rocks towards the paintress on her island, because they're saying, "Oh, as we get closer, eventually you'll be able to hit her." So they just sort of throw rocks at the camp regularly.
That's cute.
At one point they're doing that, and they're just joking back and forth, because he does a throw and she's like, "Oh, that was awful." He's like, "Oh, come on, you're no better." Very chatty. I quite like it. In between the heavily oppressive themes of death and destruction.
Yeah. I am going to have to check this game out, especially because it's so French. So, little known fact about me. So, I grew up in Montreal, and in Montreal, French schools, like French private schools, are very heavily subsidized by the government because they want to encourage French language. So, you find a lot of French private schools that are, like, it's a nominal tuition, and they're really weird. Like, they can kind of do all sorts of weird stuff. And I went to an art school where it was just run by Francophiles. And so every year of our curriculum was based around a period of European history, usually French history. But this is starting from like kindergarten, grade 1. Like kindergarten was about cavemen. Grade 1 was antiquity. Grade 2 was the Middle Ages. Grade 3 was the Renaissance. Grade 4 was the Enlightenment-ish. There was some blurry lines. But anyway, all this to say, actually, grade 4 was basically just about Louis XIV. So it was an art school. We had dance classes where we learned court dances from Louis XIV's court.
Ooh.
In art class, we had to replicate paintings from that era of French history and European history. In like drama class, we had to like do like kiddie versions of plays from like Molière, like a famous French poet. They call him not French poet, French playwright. They call him like the French Shakespeare, which kind of isn't true, but they want that. He's great. It's just, the French Shakespeare is, if he was the French Shakespeare, everyone would know his name. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to play this and see what it triggers from my very weird education that's half repressed, half not. It was great when I got to go to Paris though, because I knew all sorts of weird facts. My parents were very entertained. I was like, "Do you know how many stairs there are on the Eiffel Tower? Because I do. And do you know about this part of the construction of Versailles? I can tell you that." It was very. I was like,
I
11.
could not tell you a single thing. Yeah, I'm really enjoying running out in the world. Yeah, I'll be interested to see if there's any little quality of life patches. I find there's a couple of just design aesthetic things that are a little tricky. It's hard to keep track of missions. There's no central journal log.
Yeah.
Other than it's tricky because in your menu you do have journal, but it's just the collection of journals you've found from previous expeditions. And yeah, it's a double A RPG for sure. There's just some stuff missing. I find the QTE stuff a little hard to prompt as well. Anyway, there will be a whole review on Stevivor.com linked in the show notes about that with my full thoughts. But for now, we have a different game to talk about. It's Call of Duty! No. Chapter 2, Part 2 of the first chapter of Trails in the Sky of The Legend of Heroes.
Pay attention or I'll hit you!
So where we left off last week, we had just got to campus with Chloe, and it was time to go and find the dean. And we said, okay, we'll see you in a week, dean, and shut off the game. Now, when we started up the game, we had to go to the dean's office, but first I kind of ran around the campus. Most of the students were in school, but I did find some people in a few places. I think I saw the janitor, and I got to go into the teacher's lounge and found out that the PE teacher is called Mr. Effort, which is fucking hilarious.
There are some wild names in this stuff. I took note of how many odd names I saw as well, because there's Mr. Effort, Mr. Ratio.
Mr. Ratio is the science teacher. And then the female teachers have normal names, like, or normalish, like Miss Milia or something, which is, like, a little unusual, but not like a pun. There was another woman, but I can't remember her name, like Fauna or something. Like
Wiolu or something. It's just a made-up word.
A Viola, yeah, like Viola, but with a W. Maybe it is pronounced Viola. Maybe it's, like, Germanic.
Yeah, maybe it's a Germanic thing or another odd translation moment. I got confused between that, and then there's a student whose name is just Logic.
Logic, yeah.
So I don't know what because all the girls in the school, for the most part, have regular names. There is a girl named
Purity, which is, again, is a real name. It's just you only are going to find it in, like, really, like, intense evangelical, like, communities.
It makes me think that parents in Liberl are just naming their kids after the virtue they want them to most embody. So for some that is purity, for others it is logic or effort. Getting ratioed on Twitter, I guess.
Best one, clearly, is the kid who was born to be a prep school student, who's named Argyle. Like, his parents were like, we are not taking any chances. We are naming you after what you're going to wear, what kind of person you're going to be. You're going to wear Argyle sweaters. You're going to go to prep school. Your name is Argyle.
And if your parents are going to assign you an identity, Argyle is really not the one I'm going for, to be honest.
No, maybe not. Especially, like, in Liberl, it's, they're pretty far south. They don't even seem to really have winters. Like, if I gotta be Argyle sweaters, I at least want to be somewhere cold where I want a sweater. Period.
It's not a well-named child.
It's not.
But he's not our problem. Our big problem is the school festival.
Well, we see the dean, and first of all, I love that the dean is wearing his graduation robe and cap as, like, his daily outfit, like, as though it's commencement every day. Like, that's just what he's wearing. It's so fucking funny.
I did notice that. It's really kind of overselling. Yes, I'm an academic. See my board hat that is very impractical. Although this is not a fashion-forward school, between the shitty uniforms that everyone likes to rip on, and then the dean dressing like he's just become a dean. It's an interesting campus. I do like the campus, though. It's quite condensed, but there's a lot going on there. You've got the two dorms, you've got the schoolhouse with the classrooms and stuff, you have the clubhouse, which also has the cafeteria in it for some reason, and then the auditorium, where we'll be making our theatrical debuts.
Yes.
Along with the old schoolhouse out the back that we'll get to a little bit later in this section of the chapter.
Talking to the dean, we basically confirmed that we're going to be helping out with the school festival, that we're going to be recruited into the play, even though there's a bunch of students at the school who, I guess none of them want the role. I have a hard time imagining that none of the kids in the theater club want the starring roles. 2 randos get it, but all right. And
it is an odd absence, yeah. Although when you're wrapping up this conversation about your position in the play, the Dean Collins, which, is that a pun? I feel like it's a pun on a name, but all I can think of is Joan Collins, and I don't think that's it.
I don't know.
Anyway, the Dean does make a point of saying that he is greatly looking forward to your transformation, which is an odd thing to say.
Yeah.
Not prophetic at all.
Not at all.
He's very happy to have us, and we're just going to hang out at the school and I guess take classes like we're students.
We go to classes, yeah. We just live there. We go to class. We apparently are able to jump into the middle of the curriculum whatever's going on. Well, I guess it makes sense. Joshua is is so bookish that he can pick up anything, and Estelle, whether she had been there all year or not, was never going to know what was happening in class. So I guess it kind of doesn't matter if they've been there all year or not.
I guess not. While wandering around, I did stop in one of the classrooms as well and ran into a couple of students, Alice and Caden.
Caden, I had screenshots of him too. So good.
I have a screenshot of Alice because I talked to her first and she said, Caden's really good with his hands, and if you give him a little coffee, then he can do just about anything. All right, Alice, that's a bit much for private school, but he's just sitting there, Caden, next to her, singing about coffee, so I guess he's ready to put his hands to use, however Alice chooses.
Apparently, I mean, I like the ambiguity there, but it turns out he's sewing, which is nice. It's nice that he's good at sewing, but sewing maid uniforms is a little, well, it's kind of what you expect from a school festival trope. But his screenshots of going, they've got an awful lot of coffee. I've got to really throw myself into this. I need more coffee in all caps. Like I love that he's singing a coffee song, because that's what I do every time I need coffee. I sing a song about it. And this is not sarcasm. I really do. The other great thing that I found walking around campus before we're supposed to go to the student council room and talk to the student council now, but first walking around, I found a girl named Raina and a girl named, I can't remember the other one's name, Felicity or something, but one girl says about Raina, if Raina keeps this up, I'm going to set fire to her panty drawer. And I just thought that was an interesting line. I'm going to set fire to her panty drawer. So I guess they're roommates, but man, that's not a roommate I had, thankfully.
Oh my god, they were roommates. I did run into Raina and Felicity a little bit later. They had a different dialogue, but I will get into that after we get to our next major story point, which is heading over to the student council room to meet student council president Jill, who, the moment her portrait came up, screams type A personality, 100%.
She's awesome, though. She's so funny. Like, she's not the way she looks. Like, she's way chiller than you'd think from this kind of character trope.
Yeah, she has a very intense look about her. She's got the giant round glasses. She's got getting shit done eyebrows, I noticed.
She does.
She's very focused and on target. But she tells us that the play that we will be performing in is called The Madrigal of the White Magnolia, also the chapter name, so that mystery is solved. But it's not just a play, is it, Lex?
It's not. Well, the first thing that comes up is that they're glad they check if Estelle can use a sword. And she can. She's like, it's not my expertise, but I know my way around one. And they're like, oh, that's great. We can have you sword fight Chloe. And Estelle's like, what? What do you mean? Does not click that this is like for the play. She's like, why are you going to make me sword fight Chloe? And she's like so confused. They're like, no. In the play, they explain that they're going to both play knights, she and Chloe. And Joshua goes, oh, a sword fight between two female knights will be really unique. And they go, oh, no, they're playing male knights. Jill then looks really smug about what that means. Because it's not just that they're playing male knights. It's that it's a gender-swapped play.
It is. We're going full Shakespeare.
Yeah, and who's Joshua playing?
Joshua will be embodying Princess Cecilia, a beautiful maiden being fought over by two masked knights, Estelle and Chloe.
Do they wear masks?
And he seems masked like masculine.
Oh, masculine. I was sitting there like, did they wear masks and I missed it?
Yes, they're mask for mask.
Mask for mask.
But yes, it's not the most thrilling news to Joshua, but Estelle gets into it. She very excitedly says, we can do it, Chloe! And is so happy and excited to spend time with her best friend, Chloe.
Yeah, it's really sweet. You also get a funny moment where Josh was like, how did you get the school to approve of this? And Jill goes, in quotation marks, end sexual discrimination, be free of gender roles. And then explains that when you frame it like that to the school, they weren't going to say no. So they're doing drag in the name of feminism, which is excellent.
Yeah, I screen capped that line from Jill as well. I'm pretty sure that's one of the few screenshots I've ever seen from first chapter before. I just saw that posted somewhere and said, okay, yeah, this game seems to be slightly ahead of the curve. Because interestingly, all of this gender swap stuff is handled pretty respectfully, pretty like nicely. It's not gross. It's not leaning on any unpleasant tropes.
Yeah, no. For example, Joshua looks great. They don't do that thing that you often see where they're like comically, like a guy looks like comically bad in drag and everyone makes fun of the way, you know, Persona 4 Golden does that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, Joshua looks great and is great. And everyone's like, wow, you're excellent at this. And it's not, Joshua's a bit embarrassed, but no one's acts like it's actually like a shameful thing or like there's anything wrong with it, which is great.
Yeah, I have a note here that simply says, Joshua a baddie, because he is.
Truly.
Although, funnily, we cut to the auditorium where they're practicing. They've gotten in their costumes. We've got Estelle and Chloe dressed up in their night outfits, which are modeled on the Royal Guard. So it's not full armor. It's just kind of flouncy, noble stuff. They've got little berets with feathers in them. It's all very fancy. Chloe is coated blue. She's the Azure Knight. And then Estelle is red, the Ruby Knight. Not the Vermilion Knight, I'll just note for no particular reason. I would love it if it was. That'd be a fun sort of nod.
That would be fun.
Who knows, maybe once chapter will have it.
Mayhaps.
So they come out in their outfits and think they look great.
Yeah.
Estelle looks really cute in her outfit with her hair down, I have to say.
I love that they get this portrait art, and they get new little models in the costumes. Like, I love that they have those little details. It's so cute.
I almost wish she had a little fake mustache on or something. Sort of a Cassius Bright-esque mustache drawn on her face.
But then you'd have to look at it, and we know how you feel about his mustache.
It would evoke a reaction, and that's what art is all about.
That's true.
She does have her hair tucked up into her beret, though, which I didn't notice at first, to give her more of sort of a shoulder-length hair. Because I think Sephiroth-length hair would not sell the male fantasy quite as much. Also not selling the fantasy is Joshua being rushed onto stage in his costume. I did like the line where the student council vice president, I believe he is, Hans is trying to force him out on stage, and Joshua just goes, wait, I'm not in the moment yet. Because the key thing about drag is to feel the fantasy. You can't rush the fantasy.
Yeah.
And Joshua comes out eventually. He just looks kind of nonplussed at how stunning he is.
Everyone is just jaw on the floor.
Everyone is so excited. Chloe has like this heavy-lidded, smizing look as she says, you look beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
So she is feeling something.
No, it's like the Cinderella, like the makeover montage moment from a high school movie, except like the drag moment. It's excellent. Everyone's like, wow, you were beautiful all along.
Hans even goes so far as to say, why, if I didn't know what's really going on under there, I'd be smitten at the very sight of you.
Yeah, and then they were roommates.
Jill's glasses turn opaque, as they always do for a terrifying nerd, because this is just as she's hoped. And then the scene ends with Joshua just crying. He just goes, boo-hoo, sniffle. So I don't know that he's having a great time at this particular moment in the journey, but he's willing to come to the table, and that's something.
It's something. He'll get there. So now it's bedtime now, because drag takes a lot out of a person.
It's true.
Estelle is staying with Chloe and Jill in their room. They're all roommates. And you get this really cute little scene where they say that we're all new best friends, right? And it's adorable. It's also very, like, I mentioned last time that, like, I think Chloe and Estelle would be a cute couple. And this doesn't dissuade me from that.
They flirt hard through this entire section of the chapter.
They do.
This whole sequence where they get to the room and sort of announce that Estelle's going to be sharing with them. Also, you're semi-adults working a job. Why are you staying in the same room as high schoolers? I know you're the same age, but still. It really kind of reads as a bit more than friendship in the room. Yeah. Jill says, looks like it's just us girls in here. This will be fun. No need to worry about boys prying eyes while we're here. Chloe highlights that it does sound dirty. It's just like, hey, welcome, Estelle, to our lesbian threesome. It's so nice to have you. We will get you right for the next week. And then they shift the conversation, despite this,
to teasing Estelle about Joshua.
Everyone's hot for Joshua, boy or girl, and him as a boy or girl as well. It doesn't seem to matter. They they're asking Estelle, like, oh, hey, so what's your deal with Joshua? And I just have a screenshot of her just going, buh.
Right? Well, I think the way it happens is Estelle says something about being jealous of how close Jill and Chloe are, and they're like, that's really rich coming from you. Like, you've got Joshua, and which also implies that Jill and Chloe are girlfriends. And then Estelle's like, what? Like, what? She does not. It's very weird. Everybody goes there except Estelle. No, but people aren't picking up a cue from Estelle about her relationship with Joshua and teasing her about that. Everyone goes there independent. Like, it's very funny.
Every single stranger who meets these two 60-year-olds says, oh, yeah, you're fucking, right?
It's wild. These 16-year-old foster siblings, yeah, that's your first reaction always. But then we get a little montage of their life at the academy. And I'm obsessed with the first scene you get is Chloe goes over to, they're all waking up in the morning, and Chloe goes to wake up Estelle. Estelle wakes up, and Chloe walks over to go and shake Jill awake, and Estelle immediately lies back down to go to sleep while Chloe does that.
Yeah,
and Chloe
I did
looks
like
back,
that.
she's like, wait a second, it's great.
It's such a cute animation in the morning. They're sort of, Chloe's in the middle of the three beds, runs over to Estelle, wakes her up, and they've actually got the individual sprites of her just kind of nodding back off and slumping back asleep.
Exactly.
Poor Chloe.
She's
Chloe's
trying.
the only morning girlfriend in this, like, polycule.
Yeah, she is. It's rough.
But yeah, we see them attending classes. Joshua's a great student, Estelle is not. Shocker.
Who could have guessed? And then we get play rehearsal.
During the play rehearsal, we've got Joshua paired off with Hans and Estelle paired off with the ladies.
Yeah, Joshua and Hans seem to be flirting pretty hard throughout the chapter too. That's how I took it.
They are. It's a lot. Everyone's having an awakening as Joshua enters the room.
It's like all of the tropes of like a high school movie. Like, it's your coming of age, it's your sexual awakening, it's your theatrical awakening, it's your makeover. It's all packed in. They all have to go through it in this 1 week that they're at school, because they'll never be in high school again.
It's wild. And, you know, Estelle's having the full experience. Every time Joshua's in a conversation, she just has this shell-shocked blushing look that she's shown in the profile pictures.
Yeah.
Awkward, stumbling over her words. Also on a hair trigger. Anytime anyone says anything, she sort of flares up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the date for the festival is, what do you mean date? It's very that energy.
But we get the play rehearsal, and I love that when they're acting, she and Chloe, their name shows as the character's name. Like, it doesn't say like Estelle saying whatever line she's saying. No, it says Azure Knight Oscar and Ruby Knight Julius. Also, to be clear, last week we kind of implied that Estelle wasn't going to be a good actor. Estelle is a pretty good little actress, it turns out.
Once she dedicates herself and learns her lines, she can bring a solid performance. And the fight choreo is solid. They use a handful of sort of custom sprites. I love highlighting custom sprites because a one and done use is fantastic. I'm sure it was a lot easier with this game because it feels like they had 3D renders of the characters and then they just took the snapshots as they needed for sprites because the hardware just wasn't capable of running it in 3D at that level of quality. But there's so much detail to these animations. You've got that sleeping, you've got the fight choreo.
It's so good.
They're bouncing around and crossing swords. I really love they both have like a cool posing fencing animation and everything.
They're like on guard pose.
Yeah, the play's really shaping up. They're delivering their lines with conviction and they are ready to serve.
And then after they've gotten through this rehearsal scene, we learn that it's the day before the play, the day before the festival. Estelle's finally gotten all her lines down. You know, I would rib Estelle for this, but she's been here like 3 days, so the fact that she's actually memorized the whole play, that is impressive. It's hard.
Yeah, she's off book after 3 days of rehearsal.
Yeah. And then we get a really sweet little scene between Chloe and Estelle where we learn a bit more about Chloe. We learn that Chloe was orphaned really young, was raised by a rich relative, but it seems there wasn't much emotional support. They weren't mean or anything, just it was not, they didn't feel like parents to her. They didn't treat her like their child. And then during the 100 Days War, matron Teresa, and her husband Joseph, who's since passed away, took her in. That's when she says she really learned what a family was like for the first time, what it's like to have parents. And so that's why she's so attached to the orphanage, even though she wasn't one of the orphans living at the orphanage for the most part. During the war, it's not clear whether she was there or just, I don't know, whether she was there for just a week or two or whether she was living there full time for a few months. But, so that's why she's so close to the orphanage. We also get a little more chat about the Estelle and Joshua relationship, but for me, the highlight of this scene really is learning more about Chloe.
Definitely. It's very interesting. It does feel like even though she's being very open about her history, it does feel like she's still holding something back. A great use of her profile photos and everything to kind of showcase her feelings beyond just the text. But she's trying to open up as much as she can to Estelle because obviously they've built a great bond in their 3 days of rehearsal, plus saving those kids and whatnot beforehand. Yeah, I was really excited to see the play because we only get a tiny snippet of what it's going to be here.
Yeah.
But yeah, out in the campus, everyone is setting up for the festival tomorrow. I really love we've got this sort of soft amber light in the afternoon as we're running around sort of seeing the school
really
half
nice.
set up. It's really pretty, and it's nice to have such a small map where I can actually swing the camera because my instinct was, given all the dungeons and stuff so far, this would be a locked angle thing. But you do get to swing around and see the whole thing. It's a lot of fun. My favorite was I stopped by one of the food stands for the festival. A girl named Rochelle was sitting there, the ice cream stand, and she's just lamenting the fact that she's excited for the play, but she's lamenting the fact that after tomorrow she won't get to see Chloe in her drag king getup anymore.
Yeah, it's rough.
Joshua's not the only one making an impression.
So, but first there's some side quests to do to get ready. Do you want to take a little break before we jump into this little side quest section?
Yes, let's take a break and then get into our homework.
Your aid, please!
There's a little section here where you have even shorter periods of time to finish these side quests than what we had last chapter, where they're all hidden, they're not on a board or anything, but if you go around and instead of following the plot, just go talk to people, you'll stumble into, there's 3 different side quests here, I think. The first one is the janitor. He needs some help setting up, like, flags and banners. So you basically just go to look for spots that are empty where the like spot across from it or whatever has a banner, and just go look at it, and then Chloe and Estelle will flag the janitor over and he'll go put something up. So it's pretty minimal, but it's also not a big time consuming effort or anything.
Yeah, it's also one of these side quests where it's a little tricky to tell what they want.
Yeah.
I ran around, there's 3 spots you've got to put up decorations, but the trick is 2 of them have the same decorations and the third has different decorations. So I did the 2 lengths of streamers. There's one on a hallway and one at the front of a building.
Yeah.
And then could not for the life of me figure out where the third one was because it's not the streamers, it's the drop banners that you have to put in one of the buildings.
A flag, yeah.
And it's quite a small activation zone for the little exclamation mark as well. So I was running in circles there for a while thinking, where the fuck do we not have decorations? Running behind buildings next to fences and stuff. But figured it out eventually. The janitor's pretty happy that we helped him do his job for him. For me, the next thing I did was clearing out the old schoolhouse.
Me too. We love an old schoolhouse. They're a staple of Zemurian education.
It's apparently a common thing to have a old school building that's
filled with
further
monsters.
back from the road, I guess, because the new school building would have been built in front of it. The academy is already well out of town and along a monster-infested route. So, in any case, you arrive at the old schoolhouse. There's a kid running out the front. I think, what was his name? He was the kid who doesn't like doing anything.
It's Mickey. He has the same, model as Logic, I think, but it's Mickey.
Yeah, they do repeat a bit. I also noticed one of the teachers has the same model as a guy who runs up to tell you something immediately after the school.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
But yes, Mickey doesn't like doing anything. That was his only line when I ran into him early. He's just like, let the people who want to do stuff, and I'll just kind of vibe. So he decided to go into the old schoolhouse to take a nap, only to find monsters, and then just yeets himself from the building and says, you guys can deal with it.
He's not clear at first whether it's ghosts or monsters, but it is monsters. And unfortunately, it's spider monsters, which I hate, but because this is not as bad as later games when they go to full 3D, have some icky ass spider monsters that I hate.
Yeah.
I can handle it because it's turn-based, so I don't have to watch their movements in detail. I can just look at the menu, but I don't like it. But these guys, the little spider guys who will poison the shit out of you.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. They wiped me the first fight.
God.
I'd forgotten how much more challenging thing was with 2 party members.
Because it's just Chloe and Estelle.
Let alone 2 party members that a while ago I took the prevent poison accessories off of in favor of something else. So the knights got rocked the first fight. I had to retry and go put on the silver glasses, I think is the item that blocks poison.
It's silver or something. I don't remember what.
Even then it was a tough fight. These spider guys hit hard. I had at least one person on death's door at the end of every one of these 4 or 5 fights, which you shouldn't really be able to do. But I ran around the school, not much to do. I do like that there was a chest around the back.
With the best chest message.
It's just, feed me, Seymour.
that was pretty in sync of us. Look at us. It was great. I took a screenshot.
Yeah, me too. That and the other chest was just the item fairy has yet to make her second rounds today. So we're starting to get a bit more flavor on the text rather than just, it's empty or you're greedy.
That one makes me laugh because when I was a kid, I didn't really ever think about who got toilet paper out and like restocked the toilet paper in the bathroom. And then one day there was none, and or there was almost none. I was like, there's no more toilet paper in the bathroom. And my dad goes, yes, well, the toilet paper fairy was busy today. He didn't have time. And it turned, my dad, after that, always referred to himself as the toilet paper fairy. And he's like, someone could help the toilet paper fairy out. Like, so that's what I thought of, and it was great.
But yeah, we clear all the spiders in the schoolhouse and then head outside to find Mr. Effort, who I'm assuming is the PE teacher.
Yes, the PE teacher. Apparently there's three courses of education. You can be in natural sciences, you can be in like social sciences, or you can be in PE. Those are the three like academic tracks, which is really fun.
Those are the only careers, it's true.
Yes.
Tag yourself. I don't know, social sciences maybe.
I'm social sciences for sure.
I do podcast.
Are you kidding? We write in podcasts. Like, that's we don't do the hard sciences, and we're sedentary. They
don't even teach those, like maths.
Yeah.
What's that? But Mr. Effort locks up the old schoolhouse for us again. Probably should have been locked originally, but thank goodness no more weird folks can get in. Headed back into the campus and found another little quest in the materials research
archive research something room. Yeah, I think it's like a lot. It's basically
in the
a school
clubhouse
library, I guess, but it's in the clubhouse instead of a proper library.
And it's Logic this time. Who needs some reference books that folks haven't returned to this library. And weirdly, running around, I found all the references book. One in the boys' locker room, another in the boys' dormitory.
In Argyle's bedroom.
And then the third in the faculty office next to a man.
Yeah.
So it's clear that men are the problem.
Yes, it is. It's Mr. Ratio who has it. A couple of interesting dialogues I had with the people who had the book, because I talked to Argyle and Mr. Ratio to see if like they commented on the fact that I just stole a book out of his drawer or whatever, and they didn't comment on that. But Argyle told me that the old schoolhouse was refitted to serve as a military stronghold, and that's why it's not an academic building anymore. Which I guess must have been during the 100 Years' War, but I'm like, that's really interesting, because why is it so... I guess that explains why you have a perfectly good big building that you're not using, but it also doesn't explain it at all, because why would you just let it fall into disrepair instead of, continuing to use it for something? And why was the school such an important... was it a bomb shelter? That's not what a military stronghold implies. Like, it's very interesting. And then Mr. Ratio mentioned that he's from...
Also, how was the building refitted? Because it still looks like a school building to me. There is nothing military about it whatsoever. It's half abandoned classrooms.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff in there, but it's not military looking. It's like there's some statuettes that kind of look like dragons. Like, it looks like there's more to it than just, you're going to run and kill some spiders and that's done. But nothing about it looks military.
Yeah, you would expect maybe an abandoned military vehicle or something out to the side to sell it, because it's unclear how this would be a valuable military location. Maybe they just turned it into a military school, and that's why it looks exactly the same.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's weird because they say refitted, right? They don't just say it was used by the military during the war, because that you wouldn't have to redo the whole school just because the military needed it for something. But refitted makes it sound like it was like remodeled or something, and it definitely wasn't. So I don't know. But the other factoid I learned is Mr. Ratio said he's originally from Roland. And I was like, is Roland a lot bigger than I thought? Because surely the Bright family would know him. Like, this guy doesn't look old enough that he wouldn't have been in Roland within the kids' lifetimes. I would have assumed, I would have thought everyone in Roland knew each other. Like, it's small as shit. I mean, there's a lot going on from the point of view of, like, lots of side quests, but Estelle and Josh would know everybody by name. So I was like, whoa, I guess this must be bigger than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 or 4 residential buildings in Roland, other than the mayor's house, which you would take as kind of a stand-in representing a larger community.
Yeah.
But it can't be that big. It's Bumpkin Town. It's RPG Origin City. It's never going to be big.
Yeah, and given that the Janus Royal Academy is such a big deal that the innkeeper is freaking out at the idea a student were there, wouldn't they all be really proud that one of their own sons went and became a teacher at the prestigious school? Like, if it's a big enough deal that the innkeeper is, like, hype about a student showing up to, like, stay overnight, then surely it's a big enough deal that, like, the people from town would, like, be proud and know that...
It does seem like it should have come up.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like, in conversation with a Janus Academy student, that the mayor, the guy whose whole job is to, like, give big ups to his town, would say, oh, we have a member of our community as a teacher there. Do you have any classes with Mr. Effort, Mr. Ratio, whatever his name was? Mr. Rolant. Which would also be an interesting way to maybe trip Gisette up in that first chapter. Mm-hmm. Just have her kind of think, oh, yeah, I know that teacher. Again, once chapter might have something in there to fill out these blanks, because it's not a nod to a later game, but it's just a nod to later in the game, which I feel would help kind of tie it all together, make it feel more like a unified world. But in any case, we find all the books, so Logic can get back to doing his homework. Yay.
It's for the festival tomorrow. Like, it's for the display for the festival. It's a little last minute, but I don't know, not very logical of you, Logic.
Yeah, you didn't get hired to do this a week ago. We did. You should be better.
Yeah.
This was also the point where I ran into Felicity and Raina, the students in the girls' dorm, where Felicity announced that she's mad about the play because, firstly, she refuses to play a commoner, so not a very diverse actor. Wow. But also that she lost the major role. So she... And given that it's a gender swap, she means lost one of the male roles, which means she lost the job to either Chloe or Estelle, one of which is definitely more of a kick in the pants than the other.
Must have been Estelle, because Estelle plays the noble one, right? Like, it's Estelle the noble knight, and the other... So I'm like, so clearly there was a student here who wanted Estelle's role, and Estelle just swept in and took it.
I guess Felicity is just a terrible actress. She probably got cast as Tree 3 or something in the end. Mm-hmm. Oh, but yeah, after that, I was wandering around. There wasn't much else to do, so it was time to head towards the Dean's office. Although I did catch one thing right before heading into the Dean's office. I went to stop in at the student council room, and you can't go in the room because the door is locked. There's also a sign at the top of the stairs in the building now that says, these rooms are off limits. Which I really like. They have signs that pop up all over the school saying areas are off limits during the school festival, which feels very realistic.
It does, yeah.
Later on, you see a don't go this way sign in front of the hallway that has the faculty office and the dean's office in it. So I just like those little world building touches that kind of establish that this is exactly how a school festival would play out. In any case, you walk up to the door of the council room, and through the door you can hear Hans talking about how hot Mrs. Viola is, Ms. Viola, or Viola. She's really upfront about things and seems low maintenance, which always scores big points with me. Hans, the player, I guess. But he doesn't feel that there's a beating heart under Ms. Millia's chilly exterior, so she's an ice queen.
Or it could just be that you're a high school student and she's a teacher and she's not got any interest in that.
Yeah, this isn't Persona. We're not doing that. But he goes on to say that there's something about a woman wearing a pair of glasses that suits her, that really does it for him. At which point Joshua, who's also in the room, it turns out, says, well, far be it for me to challenge a strongly held opinion, but wouldn't that also apply to Jill?
Yeah.
Who's a strong, driven woman in glasses. At which point Hans is like, it's not just about the glasses. Mature women have this glamour to them. So he's getting a little anxious, which Joshua points out. At which point Hans flips the script and says, so, how far have you gone with Estelle?
Oh my god, I missed this conversation. I think I saw it the first time I played it, because the first bit about Joshua ribbing about Jill sounds familiar, but I definitely didn't get it this playthrough. But go on.
So how far have you gone with Estelle? I know you're not going to tell me you haven't done anything with her.
Oh my god.
He says, yeah, sorry to disappoint. You just have an overactive imagination. What am I supposed to say? Not that it'd be any of your business. And Hans is just like, I don't know. It just seems like you two would make a good couple, which is a far more PG statement than what he was just saying. Like, I love old ladies with big norks. And
what base have you gotten to? Oh, you'd be a cute couple.
Your personalities really mesh well together. But yeah, then he says, all right, so if you've given up on that, what's your plan of attack on Chloe? You might have to practice, but if you'd straighten up a little, you could be a good match for her.
Are you offering to practice with Joshua? Or is that what this is, Hans?
When he says straighten up a little, I do like to think that in the room, Joshua's in full costume still. So just like, if you straighten up a little, ma'am, you could get that girl.
I think Chloe might like Joshua better in drag, actually. I think Chloe was real into it.
Most people do. But yeah, it was just a fun little conversation. You don't join in or sort of interrupt them or anything, but you can just hear the boys having a bit of boy talk, which Estelle, again, looks a little bit shell-shocked by. She's like, what? Joshua? Me? Kissing? Mouths? Huh? And I love that shell-shocked picture of her. She's like blushing. She's staring deep into space. It's a great look for her.
It is really funny.
But that was about it for that. Where does that leave us? Then we check in with the dean, where we find out that Jill has some sort of secret business going on that she's not going to tell us about.
Very suspicious.
Very suspicious. Very ominous.
Yes, but the dean seems to be on board with whatever it is. So, at least it's not, hopefully the dean isn't a bad authority figure, and that's a sign that it's mischief, but not malicious mischief.
We can only hope.
But yeah, that talking to the dean is, I think, the trigger point for when you can't do the rest of the side quests and you continue on with the storyline.
Yeah, it's such a tight window. I'm a little cheesed off that there's not any kind of board to get these from. It would make perfect sense if you're in the student council room and there was just a simulacrum of the bracer boards that's just the to-do list for the school festival or something.
Yeah.
I would love that, just because Jill's type A, she's got everything organized. She would have checklists. And it would make sense. It's like, okay, things that still need to get finished are do a round of the campus, make sure everything's okay, finish decorations, and help logic, I guess. But they're easy to miss, and they do add up to a lot of BP at the end of the chapter as well. So if you miss these, it's a lot.
These are very much from that era of JRPG that really loves hidden side quests, right? Like, I'm thinking of, Tales of Vesperia is not from a little later, but, from that kind of game to even, Final Fantasy games having a bunch of hidden side quests, older one, they don't tend to be as hidden the later you go. And in later Trails games, they tend to have markers on the map when there's a side quest, even if it's not on a board. But in these early games, they really love that hidden quest design.
It is a real paradigm shift that happened in games. We went from this era where it's all about hiding things, so you have to go through the discovery of finding it. You have to, quote unquote, earn it. And then at some point, I think developers realized that they were spending a lot of time and a lot of effort on things that, like this, people may just never find. Not through any fault of their own, just because they're not trawling every inch of every map for every detail. So why not just make it so you can enjoy all the content in your game? But that's not the case for Trails in the Sky, so you really have to work if you want to put up banners or return books to the library or whatever.
Yeah, I do think we are in a weird space in games, just as a comment on that, where the pendulum kind of swung really hard from one way to another, where it became that everything is signposted all the time, including, people will talk about, games where a character will give you tips on how to solve a puzzle before you even, to think about it yourself. That kind of thing. I think we're starting to see things settling sometimes somewhere in the middle, which I think is good, hopefully, because I like discovery that feels organic, but I also like, having a signpost that, hey, there might be something to discover over there. Or at least there might be a quest that gives you points that are going to be useful.
But when it is one of a dozen odd RPGs in a series that all stack up to dozens and dozens of hours each, I want to make sure I'm getting everything the first time.
Yeah. Yes.
So, because I'm not. I would say I'm never going to play these Trails games again, but give it 2 games and I will be. So,
yes.
So that doesn't really hold up.
But I don't want to have to. I don't want it to be because I missed anything.
Either follow a walkthrough for 100% or start a podcast. Those are your 2 options.
Exactly.
But in any case, we wrap up at the dean's office. Jill goes off to do a secret squirrel business. And we head off into the campus where we find Joshua and Hans hanging out in the cafeteria. Where Estelle continues to be an awkward little bird, just not knowing how to talk to this person that she's lived with her entire life anymore. And I do like that they get all excited about the thing, and then we cut to black, and it says, at the end, they all raised a toast, with soft drinks, to the success of the play. We just have to reinforce that these are not drinking children.
No, they're not. I know that Japanese media is very strict about not glorifying underage drinking. It's not, I think of teen shows here in North America and in the UK, right? There's stuff like Skins or, on Gossip Girl, right? They were always at clubs at, 14 years of age, that kind of thing. And Japan's very different where they're like, you can't show anything that glamorizes teenagers drinking. If teenagers are drinking, it's in the context of a drama of a troubled teenager. It's not just like, kids are going out a party.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, though, coming from a context where you used to media depicting kids drinking or wanting to drink to be so have media that's where every kid is like the most responsible. Like, if you offer me a drink, I'm saying no. Because there are kids like that, but that's not the standard 16-year-old.
I would not say it's the majority, no.
But no, so they're having their little pre-festival feast with soft drink toasts. And then we get to the festival, finally.
It's festival time! Shall we take a break and then dive into the festivities?
Let's do it.
Well, that takes care of that.
So festival day is here. Everyone's excited. We
Yeah.
crack the gates open and there is a stream of people waiting outside
Everyone's
to
coming.
come in. This really is the event of the season in Ruan, apparently, because half the town is standing outside the gates just clawing their way in.
Yeah.
Everyone inside is very excited as well. Hans makes mention of the fact that he's going to miss sharing a bed with Joshua, which Joshua just says,
Yeah.
dude, stop spreading rumors.
Yeah, this has just been the Bright family's gay awakening this whole week.
Everyone everywhere. But yeah, at the start of the festival, I quickly ran around. There's a bunch of food booths, so I made sure to stock up on every food I could find.
And you finally get a food that restores CP.
Oh yeah, finally some
The jelly
variety.
beans or something. I got so excited. I was like, I can get craft points.
Because they are slowly earned in this game, I'm finding. Maybe it's just that later games have a lot more add-on mechanics that can stack up how much CP you earn per attack, defend, move, whatever. But it does feel like you really have to earn those crafts at this point. This was also the moment where I finally realized, just pushing through my own ignorance, that there is an easy way to tell which recipes I've seen before, because it says on the side of the menu.
It does.
I don't know how I just hadn't flagged that whatsoever, but it just says recipe not learnt. So I was like, oh, this is how I can keep track of how many recipes I know. So I just opened up my traveling bag and took all of the food that I had in my bag and just went and ate every single thing at once.
Amazing.
So that I could see how many of the recipes I had. And then, just stacked up everything else because I need to be able to make jelly beans or whatever.
Need some mouth memorization.
But yeah, running around the campus, Jill and Hans make note of the fact they've got to work on their secret project again, so they're off the council room. So as soon as I had control, I made a beeline for the council room to see what was going on. But they're just kind of generically talking about a budget being approved, so they're not really giving you any hints there on what's going on.
No. And I took the chance to run around and see who I could spot.
Yes. Who did you find?
So I found Niall, who was still in a good, happy, positive mood. I found Gilbert, the sexy Terry. I found Lila and Mayor Maybell, which was exciting. They're here. They're in the maid cafe, and the girl running it is like, that's a real life maid. What the hell? Which is quite funny. But it's
When you talk to Lila, she's just like, this cafe is nice, but those maids are doing a shit job.
yeah. She's like, but Maybell, I think Maybell says that she went to Janus as well, so she's an alumni.
Yes. She mentioned she's an alum, which means she graduated like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. She's like 20, right? Like she's a baby. So there's a kid called Roy who's an exchange student from Calvard I ran into, and I was like, oh, that's cool that they just put that in there.
I did notice him as well, yeah. He doesn't really say anything. He's just, I'm an exchange student and I was working on a project. All right.
Yeah.
You're not working on some wooden carvings, I guess?
I went to the natural science room, which has a compatibility tester. And this is the part where I have a surprise for you. So
A surprise?
I did every compatibility test, and that was pretty fun. But, Estelle and Chloe got a heart and saying they were perfect for each other. But we finally got birthdays for a bunch of character, which means we can find out their signs.
Oh, true.
I checked them all because I can't never remember stuff off the top of my head. And Estelle is born August 7th, so she's a Leo. She's a lion. I don't know how into horoscope stuff you are. I'm not, hugely into it, but I think it's fun. I have fun with it, but I don't think that much about it, but I have fun. Joshua is a Sagittarius, which the symbol for that is the Archer.
Same.
Yep. Same. I know it because Taylor Swift is a Sagittarius and there's a song called The Archer. So I'm just imagining Joshua very angstily singing I've been the Archer. I've been the prey. It fits weirdly well. Shara is a Taurus.
That tracks, yeah.
That does track. Olivier is April 1st. He's an April 1st baby. He's an April Fool's baby, which is so perfect for Olivier.
Yeah, also tracks.
Joshua's birthday is December 20th. Shara's is May 14th. Olivier, April 1st. Chloe, October 11th. She's a Libra. Niall, November 25th. He's also a Sagittarius. He and Joshua and you are all, and Taylor Swift, you're all in the same club.
The four of us hanging out, yep.
The four of you hanging out there. And then Dorothy, January 22nd, she's an Aquarius. And then I was like, there's one character missing who's been like a fairly regular one, so I went and looked up Agate's birthday, and he's July 30th, and he's a Leo like Estelle. Because I feel like Agate has showed up enough by now that I was like, it's weird that he got left out of this, so checked him out. So now we know their signs, and we can read their horoscopes every week, and we're not going to do that, but we could, and that's good to know.
Yeah, I played around with the compatibility tester a bit. I didn't go through every single option, but I went through a decent chunk. So some of the ones that I noted down, interestingly, when you do Estelle and Joshua's compatibility, it reads very platonic. It says that they work well together, that they're like compatible in that sense, but it doesn't have any romantic overtones.
I wonder if we got the same one for them or if it's randomized, because mine was them saying that they need to communicate better and understand each other. If they listen to each other, they could really improve their relationship if they both listen to each other and try to think about the other's perspective. And I was like, wow, that's really on point.
I don't think that was... Because that's the one where it mentions that they need to be careful about not saying the wrong thing, yeah?
I don't remember it. I have to go through all my screenshots. The one I have saved from them is they need to respect each other's opinions.
I only grabbed a couple screenshots, so I don't have the exact wording. But yeah, it said they work well together, they're a good team, but read very platonically to me. Yeah. If you do Estelle and Shara, it states that it's a day of amnesty, that they're going to resolve their problems.
Mm-hmm, yes. I got the same one there, yeah. Which is funny, because they're not together at all.
If you do Estelle and Chloe...
They're big heart...
Big heart. It says they're about to be linked together forever, that their lives are going to be permanently entwined. So that result is more romantic than Joshua's.
Definitely. Estelle and Olivier, did you do that?
I think I did. It just says that they're kind of chill.
No, it says they're bad. Their relationship is about to fall apart and be destroyed forever unless they take urgent action.
Oh, yes. No. It's bad times. It tells them not to hang out, basically.
It's like, don't hang out, because you'll never spend any time with this person again if you are in this person's company today.
Yeah, if you do Niall and Estelle as well, it says that they basically, it's like a small heart. It says they have similar vibes.
Yeah.
Which I don't really read into their characters at all. I don't see them having similar vibes. Maybe, like... They
say the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, they're both sort of flippant in a way that would rub each other the wrong way, because they are the same. I tried a couple of combinations, Olivier and Sherazade, because they were off traveling together on the airship last time we saw them.
And they were flirting. They were going to have some BDSM sometimes.
They sure are, but it doesn't seem like they're doing great on the compatibility there. It says that there's some roadblocks to overcome.
Yeah.
Fun one that I did, I tried doing Estelle with Estelle, and it just crashes the machine.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I didn't try that.
It goes, calculating, and then the screen goes back and goes, and it pops up a screen like the thing is rebooting. I was wondering if that was only Estelle, because, the machine would look at Estelle and say, 2 of you, that'd be horrible. But it is actually just any combination of the same name twice, which I feel is a missed opportunity.
It is, but it's also really cute that they went through, made that animation for it,
Yeah, it's not just that, picking the same name a second time is grayed out, which I feel is something you would do in a lot of the later games when you're talking about pairing 2 characters up in this way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just interesting to go through there. Niall and Dorothy, bad combo as well.
Bad.
Who else did I do? I think that was all the ones I really covered before I started getting bored and I looked at the clock and said, I've got so much game left to play before I have to talk to Lex about it. Were there any other standouts for you?
I did all of them. I don't think any other standouts. That was it for that. I also looked around the other classroom exhibits. This was in the natural science thing, and I think it's really... I get that they're showing off orbital power, but it's very on point. That is... Kids would, for their science fair, be like, how could we get away with doing, a compatibility tester, but make it, credit for science fair? The economics room is where logic's research is being shown off. Or not economics, social sciences. It's his paper was on economics. There's the maid cafe. I ran around and kind of felt like I'd seen everything. So I continued on to the clubhouse. But did you find anything else fun while you were looking around?
I mean, I ran around. I did find Mayor Dalmore chatting to the headmaster, just to
Yes.
exchanging some pleasantries. It seems like they know each other.
I did see that.
Also, the love of our lives, Kana. She's hanging out.
Yes, Kara's here.
She's
on
working security for the event for all the famous alumni, because apparently a lot of big names in LaBelle all came through the Royal Academy. So they just have, I don't know, movie stars and politicians and big business people sort of all over the place. Yeah, she's just vibing. There wasn't really anyone else of note that we haven't already covered. Oh, Duke Doonan was here.
Oh, of course he was.
Just standing in a corner with the butler, Philip, waiting next to him, just talking about how happy everyone is for him to be there. He's so happy that everyone else is happy that he's there because he's so rich and famous. He's not actively causing trouble at this point, so I just sort of left him be and moved on. The other one that I did notice was Argyle, the born student. Mm-hmm. He does say that there's no haunted house this year because it's too cliche, which, alright, judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved that. It'd be more interesting than a bunch of reports stuck to a pinboard, honestly.
Yeah. Especially when you can't even read the reports.
Yeah, you can kind of get some impressions of it, but nothing really.
Like, this is about the changes in the economics, but it doesn't tell me what changed in the economics. And I'm a sicko, I would read it. I might be the only one, but I would read it for all my world-building knowledge.
But yeah, it was at this point that I wandered back into the cafe and noticed a familiar someone standing at the counter.
It's Professor Alba again. He just shows up all the time.
He's just here. So we ask him, are you here for the festival? He says, not really. I just need supplies to go to Saffel Tower, the tower we visited last episode.
Continuing his pilgrimage. He decides he's interested in the social studies classrooms exhibit and asks you to escort him there because he keeps getting lost, apparently. Mm-hmm. So you can, at this point, say, I'll come back for you when I'm ready and go and talk to people, or you can escort him. So I escorted him now. Did you?
Yeah, same. Yeah, I'd pretty much done everything I wanted to do. I talked to all the people. No one had anything left interesting to say. I'd eaten all the snacks. So it was time to act as a gopher.
So I escorted him, showed him so he didn't get lost. He got happy there. And then it was time to greet the kids from the orphanage.
Yes, the orphan train has arrived.
The orphan train?
They're all very excited to see everyone. They're keen to see the play. Matron Teresa says that she's got some news, but she'll share it later when the kids aren't around. Yeah, you can see immediately from Chloe's reaction that she knows that it's the news she doesn't want to hear.
Yep.
But Joshua then says, I'm an empath.
Mm-hmm.
Takes the kids and shows them the costumes before the play so that Chloe and the matron and Estelle can have some private time to chat.
And Teresa has decided to accept the mayor's offer. And she says that hopefully while we're in Grand Salle, I can look for work to save money to rebuild the orphanage. And I'm like, wow, that's rough.
I did find it a little funny how she's sort of, oh yes, I've grudgingly decided to accept the invitation to live for free at an expensive villa.
That's true, but then I was thinking about it, because I had that reaction too, and then I was thinking about it later, and I was like, you know what? Having to leave all my friends to go live in a new city, like, when I had to do that, I was real mad when my parents had us move away. So why am I judging someone else for it, you know? And she's like, I think her husband's probably buried on the property. Like, his grave is probably there. And so I can understand. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, if my husband was buried there, or someone I loved was buried there, I wouldn't want to just abandon that land. But, fancy villas I like fancy villas too. I like that.
I wouldn't knock it.
I wouldn't knock it.
But yes, the matron says she's decided to accept the offer. She's going to tell the kids after the festival today so they can have a great final memory.
Yeah.
And then kick things into high gear to make it all happen shortly after.
So with that said, Chloe's disappointed, but she understands that, you don't really have any options right now. So we go off to the auditorium to find Joshua and the kids, but Joshua's not with the kids. He left the kids there, told them to stay put. Bad Joshua. When you're babysitting the kids, you're supposed to stay with the kids. But apparently, I think it's Mary is one of the kids who knows where he is. Maybe Polly, one of the two girls.
I think it's Polly because she's the youngest one. She's like, Eyes is scared. Like, she's the one who talks in that really horrible toddler pigeon,
Or she just has a little speech impediment. It's not quite clear because they're all the same size in the sprite.
Yep.
It's like all the kids are either the same age or vastly different in age, and you wouldn't know. But apparently he went off to look for the guy with silver hair, the one who saved them from the fire. So he's off looking for the guy with silver hair. So Estella and Chloe are like, where could he be? And Sieg is always very helpful, the best bird.
Love Sieg.
And he immediately helps us find him at the old schoolhouse, which is great because we could have spent a long time searching for him. It's a big campus.
Even on such a small map, he says, scree. They're at the schoolhouse. Estella's once again absolutely thrilled by bird telepathy.
Bird telepathy is amazing. Honestly, I can't blame her for how excited she is. It's fucking great. And I love that there's not an explanation. It's not like nobody's acting like, oh, wow, she must know some witchcraft. It's just like, oh, bird telepathy. Awesome.
That seems fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we head off to the old schoolhouse. Thankfully, there's no more spider monsters to deal with. You just kind of get to run around unfettered. Though I wonder if they'd still be there if you hadn't done the side quest.
I wonder. I really have no idea. I wonder. Chime in if you're listening and you didn't do the side quest. Let us know if there are spider monsters there.
Yes, if you're the dedicated listener who's really helping us by not playing all of the game, please tell us. trailsthroughtrails@gmail.com or trailspod on all the socials. You know where to find us. In any case, we head to the schoolhouse. Josh is hanging out on the roof alone. It seems like he's lost track of Budget Sephiroth.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, but I don't think he's the arsonist. So he still hasn't really given an explanation for why he doesn't. I mean, I guess, we have the reasoning that if he saved them from the place, he might not be,
fully bad, yeah.
Yeah, but Joshua does not explain. It doesn't say that that's his reason for the kid. He's just kind of weird, I don't think it's him. He doesn't really explain his reasoning.
He does kind of imply in his dialogue, though, that he might know who this silver-haired man is. He says something to the effect of, oh, it couldn't be, or surely it wasn't, or something.
Yeah, there's somebody, it seems like he thinks that he's there's somebody who, he knows a silver-haired man, and he doesn't know if this is the same person or not, but he suspects, or at least trying to figure out if it is.
Before we can have a useful reveal of information between characters, instead, the PA goes off, and it's time for all of the students in the play to gather for the play. It's playtime.
It's playtime. Let's play.
And now, everyone, please go get your popcorn, find your seat, because the show will begin shortly.
What a show it is.
You ready?
It is time for the play. Ladies and gentlemen, dudes and dudettes, NBs and XBs. That doesn't make any sense. Folks.
Is an XB someone who used to be an NB and then stopped?
An XB is someone who was, it's like, Budget Sephiroth is an export of Sephiroth, but a bad one.
I was thinking maybe it's your romantic ex. It's an NB you used to date. That's my ex-boyfriend, my ex-girlfriend, and my XB.
We'll go with that.
In any case, all gender identities are welcome at the drag theater. Because it is time to sit down for our performance of... Oh, I'm scanning for the play name. Where's the play name?
Magical of the White Magnolia.
That one. That play. That's the one we're going to. Hell yeah. So backstage, Jill's trying to get everyone, pumped up for the show. She reminds them of her number one rule. It's if you're going to puke, do it off stage. Mm-hmm. Which,
good
fair
point.
enough. I've seen... What is... Oh... Okay, sorry, tangent. What is that movie where the girl comes up on stage at the high school play and she opens her mouth and projectile vomit?
Pitch Perfect.
Pitch Perfect.
Pitch Perfect. That's what I was thinking of too.
Yeah, Jill has seen the start of Pitch Perfect. She doesn't want to repeat in her auditorium, for sure.
Exactly. That's nice. At least the janitor doesn't have to deal with that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that we're giving him the consideration.
Yeah, everyone abandoned him to help set up the decorations, but...
Yeah, it's all working out.
Yeah, they'll abandon the janitor for his decoration work, but they won't let him clean up puke, which is a strange line to draw, but we respect it.
We do. So the play starts, and the play is fun because it's also a history lesson, which is a great way to give some world building, history. So we learn that it takes place about 100 years ago, and Liberl was seemingly on the brink of civil war because of class divides.
Yes.
We also learned that for some reason Princess Cecilia couldn't inherit the throne unless she took a husband. Again, God is a woman. Why can't a woman rule alone when God is a woman? Didn't a woman create everything? She's the creator god. They mentioned that she created everything even. It's not like she's just a goddess who's just a symbol. She created the world, apparently. Why? It's so strange.
Yeah, you believe God is a woman, but you'll also believe that society is a patriarchy.
Yeah, it's so strange. But yeah, because Princess Cecilia's father's died, and she can't inherit, so everything is chaos, because there's no one on the throne, I guess. It's also been 10 years since the Calvard Revolution, which is super interesting as a detail because in the Calvard Revolution, Calvard's a republic now because the revolution went full tilt. They got rid of all the rulers. It's like the French Revolution, right? I don't think they used the guillotine, but like they, either killed or exiled or whatever the royal family, and they had installed full democracy. So, you get that interesting setting that here, Liberal, the neighboring country, watched that, and class tensions have risen here. And Ruby Knight Julius, talking to his father, who is a noble who is very, the nobles need to keep superiority. Ruby Knight Julius, that's Estelle's character, says, perhaps the eventual seizing of power by the common people is inevitable in any state. And they're like, ooh, seize the means of production, bitch!
Get it.
The dad's not happy with that, but you get the setup that you've got these two knights. One is a commoner, one is a noble, and both are childhood friends of Cecilia, both want her hand, and both are also sort of the chosen avatar of the noble and common factions, respectively, in, this class divide. So it's not just a personal love triangle, it's also the what direction is Liberal going to go in kind of
Yeah, exactly. So Azure Knight represents the
commoners.
Represents the commoners because he's an outstanding warrior who's proved himself through his actions. And the Ruby Knight is a noble who's proven himself through lineage. So he comes from a storied and respected family. And so it's two sort of different avenues of good prospects. And Cecilia, Joshua, is stuck in the middle trying to pick between two good options that doesn't want to have to choose between.
It also seems that she's just annoyed that she has to choose a husband anyway. She's like, why is this what it's come down to? They end up deciding that they're gonna, Ruby Knight Julius asks to duel for Cecilia's hand, him and Oscar, and I guess Cecilia says yes. Oscar, meanwhile, gets attacked by an assassin disguised as a drunk who was sent by a noble. I think it's implied to be Julius's dad, lots of drama there.
Yes.
And then we finally get to see that scene from the rehearsal, but in full context. And we get the full fight.
Yes, they fight. I did notice, interestingly, that they're actually flipped around from the positions they were in rehearsal.
I didn't notice that.
In the rehearsal, Estelle's on the right and Chloe's on the left, but they're the other way around in the performance.
Cool. Interesting.
Which is odd to rehearse to the rear of stage, although it's not that out of the expected, because during the scene with her character's dad, Estelle is acting with her back to the audience, that is
unusual.
Theatre 101. Face the crowd, Estelle.
Yeah.
You would think Chloe would have brought that up at some point. But it doesn't seem to be doing too much damage because out in the audience, Clem from the orphanage is having an awakening of his own. Because he's looks utterly traumatized in his little profile picture, but says, I hate to say it, but the guy kind of looks cuter than the girls. I believe in reference to Estelle at that point, or maybe Chloe, because he does kind of have a crush on Chloe.
Yeah.
But hasn't quite twigged to the fact that these people who are wearing hats are girls.
That, or he knows Joshua as the princess, and he's saying that Joshua is cuter than Chloe and Estelle.
Either way, Clem's got some stuff to figure out when he gets back to the hotel in Manoria.
Well, he also has a long time to figure it out because he's 8, so he's at least got a while before he has to act on before he's gonna act on any of his little internal revelations. Oh, yeah, but that does remind me. I forgot to mention that after every little vignette scene on stage, you pan over to the crowd and you see somebody you recognize in the crowd reacting to it.
Have a little reaction, yeah.
You see Maybelle's reacting to it. She's like, "Oh, that's Joshua," or Juden at one point. Everyone, it's great. It's just such a fun little touch to see everyone reacting. It's they know about YouTube reaction videos 20 years ago, making this, that we all want to see everyone reacting.
Yeah, another of the reaction is Duke Doonan. He's really invested in the asshole Duke character. Wonder why. But he's just sitting up front and he's like, yeah, go that man who says that commoners fucking suck. And poor beleaguered Butler Phillips just says, keep your voice down. This is a play, not a pantomime.
We also find during this little fight scene, we learn that Oscar isn't fighting at his best because he got stabbed, and says, "'Tis but a scratch," which made me laugh. Oscar is the Black Knight, confirmed. Then they go in for a final blow, and they dramatically say, like, I'm going to go in for my final blow to try and kill you. I'm going to do that too. Yeah. And you do get the context that they weren't just both friends with Cecilia as a kid, they're also best friends, but I guess they're fully into this fight for death. And so they jump in for the final blow, but lo and behold, Cecilia jumps in between them and takes the blows, and then begs everyone to lay down arms and care for your fellow man, and then seemingly dies in Oscar's arms.
Yes, Joshua, again, one of these little custom animations, has the world's best literal death drop.
Yes,
and
so
very
good.
Dramatically kind of spins around and, hand to the forehead, dramatically drops, and everyone's very sad because it's, oh no, this is very sad. The queen is dead. Also, the royal line is done.
Yeah. I do like that they don't frame it as her, like, dying for love. They frame it as, like, she's dying, sacrificing herself to stop this civil war that's brewing. I do like that. It would have been easy to frame it as, like, just all about the romance, but I like that it's, like, such a tiny little thing that doesn't really matter in the big scheme. It's just a little play that takes a few minutes. But I like that they made it clear that that she's not just about the romance, that she's concerned about the country and the kingdom and the civil war and all that. I like that they, gave Princess Cecilia a little more nuance, even though she's just a little character in a little play they're putting on.
Yeah, it's really nice to, again, subvert the whole romance trope story that's going on here. She dives in the middle and it doesn't say, like, I don't want you to fight, or I love you both, or I'm my own woman. She just sort of gets stabbed and goes, this is fucking stupid, and dies.
And then things get even crazier.
Yeah, we have a surprise guest in the play. It is literally the god of the world. Adios chimes in.
They get a blue light glowing down, and it's her.
Glowing blue light, and just kind of putting everyone on blast for their poor decisions.
She just scolds them. And everyone's like, that's the most beautiful voice I've ever heard. I like to think Jill is doing the voice and just having a blast doing that. That's who I imagined it was.
Yeah, well, she didn't even bother to get in costume for introducing the play. She's still in her school uniform. So
it's like you could have at least gotten in, like, black, like, stagehand type clothes, but no.
I didn't get a full rundown of Adios's little speech, but it does talk about, like, strike your hand to your breast. Finally, you have found your heart. Which, when I wrote it down, I just boiled it down to, she says, slap your tit and think about it. At which point, it's all very like, you guys made some bad choices and this has led to a bad end. Think about your choices. And then Adios, the goddess of the world, casts Thalos on Joshua, reviving Princess Cecilia at full health.
She wakes back up.
Everyone can be happy.
So now the jewel is, I guess it's kind of back on. Like, they're still like, well, we gotta figure out who she's marrying. And Julia says that since Oscar was injured and still didn't lose, Oscar should take the win. So... and then Cecilia's like, well, what about my choice? Huh? And they're like, oh yeah, you choose. Which is like, great. Why didn't we start with letting her just choose who she wants to marry? Why did we duel? Julius is a real bro about the fact that she picks Oscar. She goes and kisses Oscar, and Julius is like, and lo and behold, look well, everyone, this is a new future for the country of the Burl. Like, wingman number one. And then as we get this happy ending, we pan back to the crowd and see a new face standing at the doorway. And it is silver-haired man who has profile art, portrait art. From the back, like looking over the shoulder, but it's there.
We finally lay eyes on Dollar Store Sephiroth in his long coat and his long hair. He just says something mysterious and leaves. Doesn't really give us much. But after the show, we're backstage and everyone's just kind of excited about how well it all went. The crowd seemed to love it. They feel they did well in their performance.
Estelle is super flustered.
So flustered. And they're talking about the costumes and stuff. I believe one of the knights says she's going to miss the knight costumes.
Yeah.
Although Joshua says, I would not want to have to wear mine again, though. Corsets are like some form of torture. Which means he was fully corseted, fully tucked, wearing a breastplate, having like the full drag experience on stage. So this must be why Jill has to do so much budgeting for the student council, because they are like going to wigsbyvanity.com and stocking up for the show.
Also, clearly, I'm like, Joshua, you don't have to tie a corset as tight as possible. Like, you can, I guess Jill or Hans really screwed him over with that, because I'm like, it's just It's not, I mean, you didn't have to be so tightly in there that it was a torture device, buddy. But I'm glad, I appreciate your commitment.
Yeah, he wants that snatched waist to really,
Oh, yeah.
again, feel the fantasy. And again, a missed opportunity for our season 1 show art. It should have been, Estelle 1 foot braced against his back, yanking the corset as tight as she possibly can.
Oh my god, yes. I want that.
But yeah, once we've finished having a bit of a chat there, the orphans once again arrive, and they're just kind of gender blind crushing on the entire cast at this point.
As they should.
Which is very nice. They're all just like, they're talking about how good it was and how exciting it is. And then we finally get a reveal of what Jill and Hans have been up to this whole time.
Yeah, and it turns out, you want to give the big reveal?
They took up a collection plate for the orphanage. They ran around the festival. I don't know why they had to budget for this. Did they have to buy a collection plate? In any case, they've hit up all the famos who went to the school, and they have raised a cool mill. They raised $1 million this afternoon.
$1 million Mira. That's what she was being all secretive about, this collection. I would guess, I don't need to jump in and be logical about this, I'm guessing the budget was more about how much money should we be aiming for to raise, for how much would it take to rebuild it. But then they clearly went over that, because $1 million Mira is more than they needed. I guess it's 1 million yen is
wild.
More like 10,000, 100,000. I don't fucking know, but it's still a lot of money.
Yeah,
I don't know
for
if it's
Australia at least, the rough translation is you move the decimal point 2 places.
Yeah,
which is also how I rationalize prices in Pokemon games in my head as well.
Me too. That's what I do.
It seems wild that a Pokeball costs 200 units of currency, but $2 makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And that's how I rationalize video games in my head.
But we get this collection, and Teresa is overcome by this, because this is enough. That means that they don't have to leave. They don't have to leave their orphanage, their beloved home. They can stay, they can rebuild, and it's really nice. Jill is just so great as a character. Like, she's funny. She does a lot of really good stuff, but she also has so much personality and is clever and is mischievous and funny. She's just a great character.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed her. I from that first sort of gut reaction of the A-type personality is like, oh, are you going to be a pain? She's not. She's absolutely delightful the whole way through. For a character who I assume only exists in this chapter, she really makes an impact in the time she has.
She really does. She makes a great impact. And then it is time to say goodbye.
Yeah, it's time to head out. The students are kind of bummed that we're not going to stick around for another night, but at this point they say, we've been going to school instead of doing our jobs for a week. We kind of need to check in at head office.
Exactly. So we say our goodbye to Jill and Hans, but Chloe is going to Manoria to see Teresa and the kids, so she's going to come with us part way until we've hit the highway and then have to split up. So we all walk down the little Vista Road together, where some monsters, and I always think, why are there monsters on the route to go to a school? Surely there should be a guard or something to make sure children can go to and from school safely. I know they live there, but like they clearly go into the city all the time. But then we get to Gull Seaway and learn someone comes running who looks just like Mr. Effort, but isn't Mr. Effort. Mm-hmm. We learn that Matron Teresa was attacked near Manoria Village. Dun dun dun.
Matron Teresa, dun dun dun, and Kana as well. They laid out both the matron and her bodyguard, because Kana tagged along to protect the envelope with $1 million in it. Mm-hmm. We're told that we need to go check in on them. Meanwhile, not Mr. Effort is going to keep running to Ruan and report it to the guild.
Yes. Thanks, Mr. Effort. I guess that's what all that PE class is for, so you could run all that way.
I actually chose to follow him. I ran back to Ruan to see if there would be anything interesting going on there. He's just kind of huffing and puffing next to the guild desk and saying, man, it's a long way to run.
I did too, but I didn't go look for him. I talked to a chick sitting on a bridge and got another chapter of the Carnelian book.
Oh, yes, I did find that as well.
So that's what I did. And then I didn't bother to check in on him. I was like, whatever. I should have thought of it. I wish I had, but I didn't even think of that. I was just like, just get my book and then keep going.
Yeah, no, I ducked in. Also checked the guild board while I was there. There was an extermination request up, which it doesn't really matter because that monster is blocking the way to Manoria Village for you either way. Anyway. In this tiny window, the fact that they went and put it up on the guild board just in case you ran back to the town, even though you're going to encounter the mission regardless.
It's good. It's a good little detail, but it's silly.
Insane.
So we get to Manoria Village, and we learn that the worst didn't happen. They weren't killed or anything, but they were both laid out. And the money was stolen. The kids are traumatized, obviously. When Joshua realizes that sleeping powder was used to knock out Karna and the matron, and we learned from the kids that there was like a whole group just ambushed them, and clearly if they all snuck up on a bracer of Karna's caliber, they were trained. They weren't just like random hooligans.
These were pros, yeah. I do, again, Joshua's powerful schnoot goes into play. He walks over to the beds, he goes sniff, 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 sniff. Ah, yes, this was sleeping powder. Probably not the kind with side effects. Okay, Josh, how do you know?
Okay, how do you know?
Can you smell side effects? In any case, he says it's fine, and we're making plans for what to do next, when suddenly the door opens, and in walks Mr. Grumpy himself, Agate Krosner, to which Estelle screams. She screams, because she's just a live wire at the moment.
She's so on edge.
Cannot handle anything, and Sid kind of gets the download on what's going on, and says he's going to tag along to help.
Yeah, and he is now okay with them coming along with him, that he's no longer kicking him off of this case, because clearly it's, I guess, bigger than he thought, and the more the merrier. And he lets Chloe come along, because she's trained in combat, and now he's finally accepted that, okay, she can come along.
Yeah. He didn't know about the bird telepathy, and now that he does...
Bird telepathy means a lot. He has no way to track them, and now we have Sieg, so it's actually really funny, because we're all like, oh great, Sieg, you'll show us the way. Sieg was missing for a bit, I think. We were like, we're not sure where he is, and then it turns out he was tracking the bad guys. And Agate laughs when we say that the bird told us where to go, and then we all just are like, okay, great. And Agate's like, wait, you're being serious? You're being serious that she's talked to the bird, and the bird told her through bird telepathy where the bad guys are. But he's like, are you fucking with me? This is a fucking joke, but no, it's not a joke. So we
this is life. Like, you have a sword as big as you are, and we have a bird that is as smart as we are.
And can talk to us too. It can communicate those smarts well to Chloe. The rest of us just kind of trust her interpretation. But we follow Sieg to Varenne Lighthouse, and when you get there, I healed up, because I was pretty sure some shit was about to go down, and you go in, and the Ravens are there, the gang. But they're not acting normal. Yeah,
they're kind of acting like zombies. They're just wordless. They just kind of come at you. Agate is convinced they're tweaking, which I think seems accurate. And after beating up the first pack of them, CSI Joshua is back at it again. He just takes one look and says, I'd say it's some sort of special hypnotic induction using a combination of drugs and suggestion.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about this man's hobbies.
I'm concerned about his life experiences. Because he's either got a creepy hobby, or he's seen some shit.
Yeah.
Or both. But...
Or he's reading some really bad books. But yeah, he says it's hypnotic suggestion with drugs, and then also just says this allows the person controlling them to draw out their maximum physical potential, which I don't think is how hypnosis works. But it might be how being, like, coked up works.
Maybe it's orbal coke.
Orbal coke. Yeah, it turns out if you crush up those quartz, you can have a real good time.
Oh, yeah. But you then go to the next floor and have another boss fight, and it's the same kind of setup where each of these, there's 3 total boss fights of these ravens, where there's like the 3 lead guys, one is in each boss fight, and then it's 2 minions. And I did have to deal with at least one of them who could bring them back to life by shouting really hard. Yeah,
was that the first fight? Because I heard him.
I think so.
Res people a couple times. I think the second one can shout at them to make them stronger.
Yeah, they each have a shouting power.
Doesn't matter how much you shout, I'm still going to punch you in the head till you fall down. So we climb up through the tower, and this did feel like a payoff to me, because running up the lighthouse for the side quest earlier on, with all those big empty rooms, you just get a sense for it's like, that's a battle arena. Like, there's going to be a fight there.
Something. This is a set piece for something.
Nice to see it pay off. But again, I'm still so mad that the stairs don't consistently go up floor to floor. It's such bad design. A lighthouse should have stairs that go spiraling up the inside. But it goes clockwise for 2, and then it flips.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you meant like you had to go up and then down, like in the Esmeralda's tower, or the.
Oh no.
But no. But yeah, no, it is kind of weird.
It's a poorly designed lighthouse. No wonder it gets filled with monsters so often.
No wonder nobody wants to go visit that old man there.
You know who is visiting the old man in there? It's Boy Toy Gilbert.
Sexy Terry Gilbert.
He's up there, also accompanied by the
Weird mask guys.
people in the weird masks with the fringe.
Yes.
That I quite enjoyed when we saw them earlier.
Yes.
They've knocked out the lighthouse keeper, and they're just having a chat. It's not good times.
No, I mean, they're seemingly having a good time, but they've been up to some really bad shit. It turns out that Gilbert and the mayor burned down the orphanage because the mayor wants to use the area for fancy vacation homes. And what's so bad about this is that it feels so real and like, it's not
does, yeah.
absurd. I'm like, absolutely. I can absolutely see people destroying someone's home so that they can build fancy vacation homes and make more money off of them. And saying, well, the orphanage, I mean, that is what, right? That's gentrification. It's all like, you might not commit arson, but you might. So, like, it's not like it's never happened before. It's so real and grounded. And I think that's a credit to the writing and world building, is that they don't give them some... It's so evil, but it's such a real, grounded, evil thing to do.
It's a real evil, yeah. Knowing the kind of fantastical forces you encounter in these games that have much grander plans for the world and how to ruin it, it is kind of nice / sad to have just a land baron situation.
Yeah.
He's just out here trying to gentrify. He, I guess, wants to pave orphanage and put up a parking lot. So dead husband Joseph is going to be foundational to like a series of condos.
Foundational.
It's a little unfortunate.
Yeah, I think they even say it's not even that they need the land the orphanage is on for the vacation homes. It's just that the property value would be lowered by being so close to an orphanage.
It's cheap, and they want the location. There's like, oh, this is like the correct distance out of town for a holiday home.
Yeah.
Which, diabolical.
They can't just build around it. Even though there's all that empty land, they know. They're like, no, an orphanage being around there's going to be kids screaming and people won't pay as much money.
We have to destroy the orphanage because if we build next to it, then you'll hear children. And instead, let's set fire to their home while they're asleep.
Yes. They're already orphans. Let's just finish off the whole families. Like,
that's the thing, you know,
so
if they really wanted this property and wanted to be evil, but not horrifically evil, they could have burnt the place down during the school festival when no one was there. No one's there to get killed or stop the fire.
No.
Why? You're both at the festival to give yourselves an alibi. Anyway, evil people need to work harder.
They don't want an orphanage being rebuilt. It would have been easier to guarantee it wouldn't be rebuilt if Matron Teresa had died.
True, that is a good point. Well, I guess they're in the right of it then. Respect. But not so much respect to these black-clad guys at the top of the tower because we're going to beat the crap out of them.
We do, but
Very
then...
easy fight.
They, when we beat them, they're like, well, that's too bad, because, we have guns, and we're happy to kill people, as hostages. So, at first, they're taking Gilbert hostage, which I don't really care about, but I guess bracers have a code to not let civilians get hurt, even if he doesn't really get to keep his civilian status anymore. But Gilbert's like, what? But we're on the same side. And they go, no, we don't care. You're not actually our boss. And they shoot him.
In the leg, yeah.
And there's actually blood that shows up under him.
I did notice that the little blood spatter, yeah.
But they're like, okay, well, if you don't care about Gilbert, we'll just shoot the lighthouse keeper. And that, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a lot better of a threat. That's much better leverage than fucking Gilbert, who burned down an orphanage.
The lightkeeper Vogt, whatever his name is, lightkeeper, still kind of a jerk, but I don't want him dead.
No. And we got character growth with him, which it's like a testament to the writing that if you did that, the little side quest thing and you were gave him the cocktail and all that stuff, like you got some character development enough to feel for him and learn about how lonely he is and how he's, you know, remote and has this really rough life and nobody ever visits him and he's just completely alone here. And then this happens and like it pays off. It makes you feel for him and then they're gonna shoot him. Just it makes you mad. So, but we back up because they tell us to, and they're gonna shoot an old man if we don't. And then after we back up, they make their escape, and Agate runs after them and tells us, no, you have to stay to arrest Gilbert and all the ravens who are still here. You can't run after with me. They have a rope attached to the roof of the lighthouse, and Agate jumps down the rope too, and Estelle can either choose to be like, let's go along too, and then get stopped. But I do like that Estelle was ready to go down the rope, slide down the rope just like that. Yeah,
it was a little either or prompt, so in the moment I thought maybe it was like a BP decision. Turns out it's just flavor text this time around, I think.
Yeah.
I chose the option where she's like, yo, did you see that? That was crazy.
I chose to turn down it, but I couldn't. I tried.
And then Joshua and Chloe are just like, yeah, no, we need to go inside. We've got stuff to do.
Yeah.
We help with the arresting of all these folks and then sort of find ourselves back in town where everyone's a little worried because the Bracer Code means that they can't directly interfere with government, which is the reason they're allowed to exist in every country because the government has immunity from them.
They have to catch them red-handed, basically, in the act of committing a crime. I do like that they have this conversation about the downsides of the Bracer Code, because a lot of the time neutrality is treated as like inherently virtuous. Like, it's good to be politically neutral, and I like that they, like, at this around the midway point in the game, they're really grappling with the fact that, like, being politically neutral means sometimes you can't help people. And it's not, oh, the Bracers are good guys because they're politically neutral. Like, that's a compromise they had to make to be able to operate. That's not just part of what makes them good guys, the fact that they can't take sides in political stuff. It's a compromise in order to be allowed to work in all these countries. So I like that they grapple with that because, you know, a lot of the time it's treated as though neutral is good. And in reality, politics also are used to hurt people. And not being able to interfere in government and political things can mean you let people get hurt and you aren't able to stop it.
Yeah, and it's always much more interesting storytelling to establish a premise and then challenge it rather than just accept it. So they've built this world, they've laid the groundworks, and then they're not just playing in that space, they're playing against the space, which is really interesting because this is the kind of thing that in a new job you would be learning the limitations, the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Just watching their dad be a bracer, they wouldn't know about the paperwork side so much. So it's interesting to see them kind of pushing up against the limits of the job that they've chosen to do and learning. They do point out to Estelle, she thinks that this means that the mayor's going to get away scot-free, and they say, no, the army can arrest him. We can't. So it's not that justice can't be served, it's just that they personally can't serve the justice.
Provided, of course, that the army can catch him, that he doesn't flee.
They've got an intelligence division, you have to hope so.
Yeah, so we are now gonna head off to Ruan, and as we go off, when we're passing the school, Chloe goes, wait, you guys go on ahead. I have to just check in with the headmaster and let him know where I am, because I disappeared. And which seems, I guess, is reasonable. She did say, I'm just gonna go over to the village, and I went to a boarding school for a bit. Like, you do need to let the people know where you are. You can't have a child unaccounted for. But she doesn't, after we go off to Ruan, she doesn't go to school. She instead writes a letter and sends it off with Sieg. She's like, I'm sorry, Estelle and Joshua. Like, I guess sorry for deceiving them. And sends a mysterious letter with Sieg. But we get into this city and we run into Niall. And Niall obviously wants to do his journalism thing and follow along what's going on. We learned from Niall that the mayor, Mayor Dalmore's in huge debt. He's been using town funds for risky investments in Calvard that have gone bad.
Yes, he's 100 million mira in debt.
At least.
We're told that while the army is being summoned to do the actual arresting, we just need to keep the mayor busy so that we have him sort of trapped in place.
Yeah.
So we head over to the mayor's palatial estate to kind of run interference, where they do highlight that, oh, look at his crazy big estate, and sort of consider, is this what he was spending all his money on? But then someone mentions that they're a noble family, so this is an inherited property. At which point Estelle sort of says, oh, well, he got the manor through family rather than blood. That's something, at least.
He's like, at least it's not blood money. It's like, okay. I mean, it might have been blood money from his ancestors.
It's a weird line to draw, but hey, Estelle, both sides bright, is here to play.
I guess so.
But we head into chat with the mayor, and we're just sort of initially giving him an update on the situation and what happened. And you get to a point where you're prompted to say who's responsible for the situation. I was tossing it up because your options are Mayor Dalmore, Gilbert, and the third one is...
The Ravens, I think?
The Ravens, yes. And so I considered for a minute there, do I say the wrong answer to keep him busy, or do I say the right answer in case it's like a bonus BP, or that, because you're told not to kind of escalate the situation while you're keeping him busy. In the moment, I was just like, nah, I want to have the most fun with this. So I said it was him.
And that's what you're supposed to do for BP, yeah.
To the mayor's face, which is great because it means that Estelle gets her parlor room scene. She gets to be Sherlock, kind of laying out the whole case and accusing. So I really enjoyed it. Niall shows up with proof as well, so we've really kind of...
Of the investments, the risky investments. And then the mayor escalates because the mayor just 6 attack monsters on us to eat us. At which point Joshua, pretty hilariously, he's like, well, I guess we don't have to worry about catching him in the act of a crime anymore. He is trying to murder us.
It's like, oh, he tried to murder us. That's a pretty good precedent.
We can arrest him now. It's good.
You get to fight his 2 monster dogs who are called Fango and Bronco.
And one of them is resistant to magic, and one is resistant to physical, and it's...
But they both have beautiful red nails.
They do. They are serving.
Mm-hmm. And they swing hard. These guys hit hard. But thankfully I hit harder. So I didn't actually find this fight to be too hard. I just took a blow or two, said, okay, we need to move through this quickly, and just sort of hammered away at them. And kind of odd that the mayor has like a cage with these feral monsters in a side room off his dining room, basically. It's an interesting layout to your house.
It is very odd. But after he does that, after we beat them, he's really upset that we, killed his pets. And we're like, you tried to kill us with them, but
murder us.
But then he has another trick up his sleeve. He has an an artifact, an old family artifact that freezes us all in place.
Some sort of orbital wand situation. And he casts Time Stop.
And he then pulls out a gun and is like, unfortunately, I have to get my hands dirty. This won't kill you, so I have to shoot you myself. And Joshua really snaps.
He's mad.
He's like, you can kill me, but if you lay a hand on Estelle, I will fucking murder you and rip you apart piece by piece. Okay, he doesn't quite say that, but that's pretty much what he's saying. And he's really, like,
it's
even Estelle
hardcore,
is, like, shocked by how scary he's acting.
It's very out of character. Like, Josh is a real soft boy most of the time.
Yeah.
He's good with kids. He's very kind. He's sort of quiet. He's an indoor kid. You threaten his sister girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to say in his lowest, most level voice, I am going to tear you limb from limb. I am going to destroy everything you love, everything you've ever held dear, and I'm going to erase you from history.
Mm-hmm.
And Estelle says, whoa, in a way that I kind of think is like, that's kind of hot. She's like, oh, my knight in shining denim vest.
Yeah, and you think for a second that maybe Joshua is going to be able to break through whatever this is to save her, but that's not what happens. What happens is that black orbment that had been in that package of Cassius's starts glowing and deactivates this other artifact.
It's a little confusing in the moment because the way the sprites are positioned, it looks like Estelle's hand is glowing. So I thought she was about to awaken some sort of divine power or something.
Etios was talking earlier.
Yeah, some sort of cool ability. But yeah, she's glowing with a black light, they describe it as. And it turns out it's coming from the black orbment, which somehow breaks the time stop spell that he's cast and breaks the wand itself. So he kind of just says, yeet, and runs away.
And he runs, and we all run after him, and Niall runs with him, and with us, and hilariously, so you get like a little sequence of like, we're running through a room, and then we're going down the ladder, and then we're doing this, and every room, Niall is lagging further and further behind the rest of the gang, trying to like keep pace with the teenagers. And then, but eventually we jump in a boat that we commandeer again, and Niall does not make it into the boat on time, so Niall is foiled.
The mayor has jumped into a yacht, which also has a motorboat engine for some reason.
Yeah.
And we're stuck with a motorboat dinghy, so we chase after him. They immediately take off from the dock. Joshua says, all right, we're taking the boat, go. And both the girls just like thumbs up and jump in. As they take off, Niall's just running down the thing. He's like, God damn it, this is a great story. Don't make me miss out.
It's trying so hard, but we gotta catch him because he's trying to escape across the border and go into hiding. We're not sure which country he's aiming for. Probably Calvard, but
I think he says he's aiming for the Empire.
Erebonia, right? No, because Noble's, I guess.
Because that's Noble City, yeah. A very cool moment while they're chasing boat to boat. He turns around with his gun and tries to fire at everyone. And Estelle deflects all of the bullets with her staff.
Deflects all the bullets. It's like a lightsaber. She's doing a fucking, like, Luke Skywalker lightsaber deflecting shit.
And I will note, it's actually the same animation that they used when she did, like, a cool move for the kids back in Relance.
Yes.
Because she spins the staff and then she does, like, a peace sign.
So
which is
cute.
so funny to do in the moment. She's like, oh, you're trying to murder me? Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
Eve. I love her so
really just
much.
like nailing it down that Male Dalmar is not killing it right at this moment.
Fuck, I love her.
Unfortunately, the deflecting bullets is not enough because the combined sailing power and engine power of the yacht.
Yeah, the wind picks up.
We're getting left behind like Niall, so it seems like all is lost.
And Dalmor mentions a mysterious he. Also, I do want to note, as he's going off to try and escape to the Empire, he's monologuing to himself and mentions maybe he can. I'm not sure what exactly he said, and we don't know who the mysterious he is, but we keep hearing of a mysterious he, so gotta note that.
Yes.
But then, all seems lost until, dun dun dun, a giant airship.
A huge shadow passes over us. A really impressive scale as well. I quite enjoyed... Again, with the airships, like we had with the Sky Bandits, they really sell the scale of the airships.
Yeah,
even
they're
in
really
this
cool.
like smaller scale rendered game. So you get this huge shadow passing over you, and it is the Arcel.
The Arcel. I think it's like
Arcel.
a French pronunciation. Arcel.
Which is interesting. They mention it's from the Zeiss Corporation. It's the latest from the Zeiss. It's huge, it's high-tech, it's a guard ship for the Royal Guards.
And it's pretty clear that this is Chloe's letter, mysterious letter. Because you do see Sieg flying, I think, and Chloe does make a relief face if they got here. And it seems that she has an in with the captain of the Royal Guards, or maybe just somebody with the Royal Guards. Because they're all, Joshua and Estelle, like, how could the Royal Guards have gotten here in time? Like, the receptionist was just about to call them, but I guess 5 minutes earlier, Chloe sending a letter by bird was faster than a telephone. So
yeah, and it's important to notice when we say the Royal Guards, they do highlight in the scene that this isn't the guardsmen in general. This is the Royal Guard, as in the guards of the royal family.
Yes.
So this is
like the Queen's
private
guards.
Security for the Queen. Yeah. So that is a hell of a call to make for Chloe, the high school student. I know high school students are very prestigious, but being able to call on the Queen's bodyguards is kind of a big swing.
And they are able to arrest him. They are able to arrest evil Mayor Dalmor. Thank God, because I would have been fucking mad if he got away. And this airship, it's beautiful. It's stunning, state-of-the-art, and we know that it's still in testing. Like, I don't think I think they mentioned something that it's not even like officially deployed yet. It's still like in test, or like they're doing drills with it. They haven't even like officially unveiled it or whatever.
Also, very impressive how they stop this chase, because they don't just fly overhead. They literally Tokyo drift mid-air and drop down into the ocean to block off the mayor's speedboat.
Yeah.
It looks dope. And
it's
also
so
nice
cool.
to know that airships are actually ships as well. They can land in the water, because that feels like something that's often missing in these things. Considering we've seen all of the airships suspended in air next to a dock to date, it's nice to know that they have this other layer of thing. I also love the little...
paddly things.
The wing arm things on the bottom of the boat that sort of
like paddle
flick
thingies
up and down.
that you see. Yeah. It's great.
The mayor is arrested, which is good news for us.
We meet Julia is the head of the Royal Guard.
Oh,
and
yes, we meet
also
Julia
get an
Schwartz.
appearance from Alan Richards again, who the Royal Army is a little late to get there, and there's kind of a weird exchange between them, like as though the army and the Royal Guards are not they I guess are under the same umbrella, but they're clearly like not the same organization. Like it's they can coordinate, but they're not under the same command, I guess, or they're not. So they're operating separately ish.
It does feel like a little bit of jurisdiction friction between the two.
Exactly. But we head back to the guild.
We've got a lot to report about.
Oh my god, yeah. Because we did such a good job, we get our next recommendation letters.
Hooray! Who knew that all you needed to get a job is just a series of international incidents solved across the country?
Yes. And it is, but I do like the show of like, in the last one, the last chapter, right? The last 2 chapters, actually, Shara was there helping us with whatever incident, the recommendation. This is the first one that is still in Joshua. Like, Agate was around for some of it, but he wasn't there for all of it. He was only showed up for like consistently for that one stretch of combat to the lighthouse. We weren't under supervision of a bracer telling us what to do of a senior bracer. So it's kind of nice the character growth that they still needed the Royal Guard to come in and arrest him, but that wasn't their fault. That
was an entirely reasonable escalation.
Yes.
Yeah. Agate had the case that he took off us, but apparently he achieved fuck all while we were busy helping with the school play, because we had time to learn and perform in a play and then turn around and just immediately solve the case while he'd been, I don't know, posing cool on a bed somewhere probably.
Mm-hmm. Telling people to feel his heavy blade. Which sounds like
I bet he is. Well, I did also get ranked up to a 3rd class junior bracer at this point, so we're getting very close to the top of the chain, which is exciting, especially,
I think
again, I missed some quests early on. but I've been very judicious about doing everything I possibly can now. We get our recommendation, which means we're pretty much wrapped up in Ruan. So that is a wrap on Chapter 2, Madrigal of the White Magnolia, a brilliant play held at Royal Janus Academy. Where will the trails be leading us next, Lex?
So in order to give this next checkpoint, I have to give a slight location spoiler that we are going to be told to go check out the next of these towers, Carnelia Tower. And when you're given the quest to go to that, when you're told to go there, that's when we're going to save for the episode and call it a checkpoint. Okay. So when you're told, as part of the main story, to go check out this tower.
Perfect, because I think that might serve us a little bit better this time compared to saying we're going to go to the academy and then having a huge stack of side quests to do right before we go there. When we are queued to go to the next tower, Carnelia Tower, that is where we will cut off mid-chapter 3.
Yeah, and I'm excited for it because there's only the fourth chapter is the finale. So after chapter 3, we'll be on the final chapter.
We're really ramping up. Maybe we'll even learn Sephiroth's name next chapter. I'm excited.
Maybe we will.
So for now, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Trails Through Trails. If you'd like, you can find us on the Orbital Net at trailspod.online, on Blue Sky, Instagram, and unfortunately X, the Everything app, at trailspod. Or you can send us an email at trailsthroughtrails@gmail.com if you have any questions, comments, compliments, or corrections. In that order. Not really. Next episode, we'll be discussing Chapter 3 up until the moment you're told to head to Carnelia Tower. But until then, I've been Matt.
And I've been Lex.
And we'll see you next time on the trail.
Bye.
Bye.